writing? Okay.
Growing up, reading about, looking at the things that George Barris has done, the man is innovator in the industry. It's great to see that all of a sudden hot rodding and cars in general have kind of come full circle back to that way of thinking, which inspired so much back then. And that's why I'm into hot rodding. I love to drive my cars. I love to build them. I love them traditional, and it's just a great thing that it's grown to be this big now.
What do you think about the fact?
Is that good?
That's wonderful. Guys like you are building cars today, and a lot of the stuff that comes out looks like stuff that Barris innovated 40 and 50 years ago. What do you?
Well, that's the big influence. It's just like rock and roll of 10, 20, 30 years ago. It's like people try new things because that's only like the natural progression to innovate things and whatever. But I think after a while, it kind of goes back around to the roots to see what made this actually happen. What started this all? And like with George's stuff, I think people look at that and all of a sudden they go, whoa. Because after a while, I think you get so far away from it, it turns into a whole new thing. And that's the contemporary thing that keeps the everything moving along, but not losing where the roots are at is where it's all about. And I think right now in cars and hot rodding, whatever, it's kind of getting back to that now. And everyone's, people that wouldn't know who George Barris is or whatever, all of a sudden they're going, their kids are going, oh wow, he did some cool stuff back then, and it kind of takes it right back to that point.
I think this goes along with what you're saying, the fact that some of the showroom cars like Chrysler PT Cruiser and things like that are starting to have lines like they look like they've been sculpted by someone like you.
Yeah, you got Ford coming out with the new Thunderbird, and which is total retro, and like the PT Cruiser, cars like that. It's like, I don't know, I think maybe the new generation of people are thinking, man, those cars were cool looking when they first came out. And myself, I love the new cars or whatever, but you look at some of the old body lines and whatever, and like the stuff that George was doing, it was just so cool. That kind of stuff never dies.
It's like works of art.
People work off of that, but it gets right back to where that was at.
You have a favorite car that you have, or a favorite Barris car, or a favorite style?
Actually, I have a Dennis. What year's your car?
What?
What year's your car?
90.
Actually, I have a favorite car. Is my brother Dennis right here. He has a 1990 Ford Thunderbird. It's white. It's kind of bashed in and whatever. To
204,000 miles.
Exactly.
It's the V8 or the V6?
Oh, it's the V6. Come on.
The high output.
It's the high output V6. That's kind of the car that I'm looking towards right now.
Really?
To do something off of. I'll probably be dead before I think of something to come off of that car, but still.
His daughter just turned 16, and we're thinking maybe putting it on blocks for her.
No, actually, it's one of the cars that I haven't had a chance to see one in person yet or whatever, but just the things that manufacturers are doing now, like you say, Chrysler, Mr. Gale,
right,
who's doing stuff. They're the kind of guys that are incorporating the new, but incorporating the old with it, right. And I think that's really appealing. And if I could, I'd buy a bunch of these cars, but my wife says, no way! Too many cars.
Does she like driving in them?
She does like driving. My wife actually, she has a 69 Ford Shelby Mustang, GT500.
Wow.
And that's about as much car as she can handle.
Right.
But she has fun doing it. And for me, that's another thing. The cars, hot rodding. It's a family thing with me. I have 2 daughters, and we all love to do it.
And do you drive them a lot? You're a driver, not a collector?
I drive them all.
Yeah.
I love, I'm not a car. Car collectors are fine. But the cars that I own, I drive.
Right.
I drive every single one of them. Because for me, that's what it's all about.
Right.
You look at my car over there. It looks beautiful, whatever, but it looks even more beautiful driving it down the road.
What was your first rock star car when you got a little bit of money and you could afford whatever you want? What was the first exciting car that you went out and really spent some
Actually,
dough
the first car that I bought was a 79 911 SC Porsche. And to everybody in the rock business, or in the music business that say that, oh, they still drive the car they drove in high school, whatever. That's a bunch of crap, because the first thing you do when you get a little bit of money, you go out and you buy yourself a car. I guarantee it. I've been through the whole spectrum, European, sports cars, whatever. That and the Yamaha bases. But I'm pretty much back into the American muscle type deal.